Welcome to a very special, not really a full episode of MT Creations Creates, or just a sub-series of the main series, MT Creations Creates Show and Tell. Because I made this series not only for showing how I make things, but for showing things I've already created as well. So, I might as well show off my latest creations. If you know the show Gravity Falls, then you might, by chance, know Ford. Ford.
Yeah, that six-fingered freak!
I have a friend who's absolutely obsessed with the character, and she commissioned me a 3D model of Ford, and I'd say it turned out pretty well. I'm really proud of it. So I'm going to show some progress shots of me making this. Painting this thing was such a hassle. I could not get a lot of the colors right first try, and I had to paint so many coats on the model. I even took this thing to school so I could paint it between photos I was printing for class as I worked in the darkroom. Yo dude, this looks pretty good. I'd say you captured this image perfectly. Could you 3D print me a bag of chips? Or would they actually taste like real chips?
Go away, Seuss. I'm trying to watch the Funkle Bunkle.
I'm super proud of how this turned out, and it sure made for a happy customer.
Look at him though, he's really pretty. I like his hair.
I'm actually thinking about printing a stand figure for myself, maybe a Seuss one too. But instead of starting that out, I decided to make a model based on my Horizons OC. I sculpted her from scratch and I think she came out great. I really did one of my most favorite OCs justice. I made some cool renders and I put her in a pose that references the original artwork that I made of her. I also made some renders of what the model would look like on a shelf and as a life-size or close to life-size print. Something I'm actually considering is printing a 3-foot tall Horizon statue to really test the limits of what I can do with 3D printing. That'll be a whole MT Creations Creates video for down the line. Once the model was done, it was ready to be printed, and it already printed with problems, but they were fixable. I think Horizon Zero turned out pretty well in the end. I know the paint job is not perfect, but it's just the best I could do, and I guess if I ever wanted to fix or paint up, I could. Since I don't really want to work on it anymore and just want to move on, this is the best that we're gonna do. I did the best on the face details. I had a really thin brush to work with, and my hand got all shaky, so that was kind of hard to do. A little challenge. I guess one of my biggest complaints really is just how misaligned the legs and the feet are when I glued it down, but that'll be fixed soon. I'll explain why towards the end of the video. I think she'll look really great on my shelf. I've always wanted to display models of my own characters. I have the MT diorama I never finished. I'll probably display it next to this one. And maybe down the line I'll make some figures of my other OCs. I've been making some really good 3D prints recently. I'd argue that the Ford one is a lot better than the Horizons one, but I guess the Horizons one has its own charm. It's more simple, but I'd say it's pretty good. I got the colors pretty well. That really light yellow was really hard to get. That's about it for that. I've been having a lot of fun working with 3D prints these days, and I sure can't wait to experiment more and try new things. I've always wanted to make a series of figures based on my characters. They'd be much better than those FYE anime figures, that's for sure. With the way Ford turned out, I even made this little sitting chibi empty because I was testing the design to use it on a version with one of my friend's OCs. I might make a Horizons version of this little guy. I learn a lot of things while I'm 3D printing, but the biggest thing that I've learned out of anything else is that I need a new 3D printer. So I started looking. I'm kidding, it actually came to me in my recommended and an animation by Jared Owens. Shout out to him for his awesome Blender animations about how things work. He's awesome. I watched one of his latest videos and got introduced to the Bambu Labs A1, and holy crap, I'm obsessed. And I think I'm gonna get it. They can shut up and just take my money. So why exactly am I getting a new 3D printer, you ask? My prints look fine, don't they? I'm able to make great stuff, aren't I? Well, there's more to it than meets the eye. So, what's wrong with my current printer? It's old. Got this thing December of 2018. It's got like really, I don't know, older 3D printing technology, I guess. It's liable to bullshit me a lot. Sometimes when I press the button to see how much time the printer has left to print something, it has a super rare chance of glitching and beeping and stopping the print midway through. This has only happened to me like once or twice, but I'd rather it not happen again. This printer likes to botch a printing job so often it'll jam itself or mess up the print severely. Like my Horizons figure, which, spoiler alert, I actually have not finished it yet. At the time of recording this, like, her skirt is broken. The print quality sucks sometimes. It can't print hinges, it can't do print in place objects, meaning that the object has like inner workings or hinges that can be printed in place and still work without printing the object in parts. Can't do that. My prints always have a lack of finer detail, and I'm aware that this can be fixed with like maybe a narrower nozzle on my printer, but there's still a noticeable low quality in my prints at times, and I just want something higher quality. The software is simple and easy to understand, but it sucks. The XYZ Maker program, back when I used it for custom models before I learned using Blender, had this weird thing where the files you saved went into some secret folder, and that you could only access that folder through the app. One day the program updated and all my files disappeared because I could not find the actual folder they were stored in. I could only see it within the XYZ Maker app. Who makes a program that does that? Every time I open the XYZ print app, there are like 2 to 3 pop-ups that I have to go through, and it takes forever for the app to actually load up too. The XYZ print app also has ads for some reason. I don't know why. I always have to tape up the print bed. The printer actually came with its own print beds that you would have to put onto the default glass print bed that the printer has. Those print beds sucked and always broke or never let the print stick to the bed. So I resorted to using blue masking tape. And boy, let me tell you how annoying that is. Every big print I make, I have to always replace the print bed and retape it. It happened with the Ford figure. It happened with the Horizons figure. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm just tired of it. The printer has a print space of 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. This thing's small. And it's loud, too. Like, the motors are always noisy. And sometimes when the printer head moves, it'll make this weird, like, brrrr noise. And I checked. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Like, no piece should be loose. It's well lubricated. It just makes that noise. I know that failed prints happen, and they are a natural part of the printing process, and I accept that. But my printer fumbles and often cannot print a model correctly. Like the Horizons figure, the skirt broke, like the front of the skirt didn't print right, because I think one of the supports fell off or something. I don't know what happened, but it really fumbled hard on this one. I can also pause prints, but if 5 minutes pass, it stops the process. Sometimes it'll just like stop and jam even when it's clearly not jammed. I don't know. This thing is, it's an XYZ DaVinci Pro 1.0A Pro. I don't know. It's definitely worth replacing. That's what it is. So what's so exciting about the new printer? Boy, I got a long list here. A1 is faster, much faster. It's much more modern. This box of crap, 2018. Bambu Labs A1 came out December of 2023. That thing's barely a year old. It has a magnetic print bed that heats up so your prints can stick to it better. And if that isn't enough, it comes with a special glue stick that you can apply to your print bed so the prints will stick on better. Totally a lot less hassle than always having to reapply 4 strips of masking tape across the print bed. Big waste of tape too. Replacing the print bed in this thing is just so much more wasteful. Having a magnetic bed that just, you could, come on! How is that not appealing? It has a camera. The A1 has a camera that takes pictures of your print while it prints, and it makes a time lapse out of it. The reviews I've seen said the camera quality is kind of crappy, but I don't care because I'm super used to always checking in on my print in progress in case it fails, and I stop the process before any more filament is wasted. But the A1, it lets you check it from your phone through the little camera, and on top of that, you could stop and start a print remotely. I've seen this thing print in much better quality. I've seen this thing print all sorts of print in place models. You know those little swirly things that, like, you just lift up, and I'm sure if you've seen 3D printing videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like those little spirally models. There's like 2 pieces and one spirals into the other. I haven't even tried with this one because I always doubt it'll even work. But the A1, I've seen that it can do it, and it's promising. I've seen it print one of those little like snake things that has hinges. I've tried printing something with those same types of hinges on this. Didn't work at all. Oh, it's so clear, the difference in quality. It's awesome. It's quiet and smooth. This thing, every 5 minutes, just a brrrr. But the A1 is notorious for like this noise canceling motor system. I don't know exactly what it was. I promise I did my research. I'm just dumb and I forget things. But I remember that it was supposed to be one of the best like quiet printers out there. Like it'll still make a noise, but it's supposed to be very, very appeasing to the ears whenever it makes a print. It's portable. I watched the guy in the video carry this thing around like it was nothing. I know, okay, this thing's just like a big box, and the A1 is like, it's just a frame. But it would be cool because sometimes I'll go to my grandpa's house and take some projects with me. So it would be really cool to be able to print something while I'm over there. The print space on the A1 is super generous. 256 millimeters by 256 millimeters by 256 millimeters. That's 25 centimeters compared to the 15 centimeters. That's 10 inches. I have a ruler right here. That's huge. All the way around. That's what she said. 25 centimeters. 10 inches. That's nearly a whole foot big. That's what she said. That's like all I needed. I had to print my Horizons figure. This from bottom to top, this piece alone, without her being attached to her base and feet, that's 15 centimeters. That's this printer's entire capacity. I wouldn't even need to split the model in half with the A1. I could print in different colors too if I wanted to. The printer has a separate add-on that you can buy that holds 4 spools and lets you print models in multiple colors. But I'm going to do that much later though, because it's expensive and the actual process and concept creates a ton of filament waste, and I do not like wasting filament. One of my Lego Titanic boxes I turned into a filament waste bin so I could recycle it later down the line. But I hate filament waste. It's just annoying. In the 3D printing world, we have to deal with it. It's inevitable. But if I can create as less waste as I can, the better. Although I would love to try multicolored 3D printing someday. And if I have the A1, I can. I'm just obsessed with this thing. I've been jokingly calling this my beloved on my Discord server. One of my friends, for some reason, said I should make the A1 into an anime girl. So I did. She prints from her nose. I've grown to like her. When I get this printer, I think I'm going to do something special. I can't get this obsessed over a 3D printer and not do something big, right? 3D printing is like one of my favorite hobbies. I'm going to set up a huge stream event where I unbox it, plug it in, and even test it. And yeah, I know that printers, they take a while to print. That's why I'll maybe play some games and do other activities while it's printing. Once I can get a good grasp on when to do this, I'll make a special... Oh, geez. Ugh. It's a weird, and you ever get those, weird internal hiccups? Once I can get a grasp on when to do this, I'll make a special announcement and let everyone know. Speaking of announcement, I now have a blog. So if you haven't checked it out yet or even know about it, I put the link up on my community tab before I just mentioned it now in this video. And I'll start putting the link in my video descriptions as well. I'll mostly talk about things I'm working on, provide some life updates, and whatever other special things I can come up with. It's got room to grow. Check it out if you're interested. It's possible that I'll post early looks at projects I'm working on, maybe provide deeper insight on what I'm planning. Kind of like a Patreon, except you don't have to pay. I might even sometimes use my blogs as scripts for videos, which I actually kind of just did. That list, the what's wrong with my printer versus what's great about the new printer, I read that off my blog. Little fourth wall breaking there. And sometimes I leave out details that are in my scripts, but not in my videos. So if you want extra stuff like that, you'll find it there. So that's about it for this. I'll provide updates and details on this 3D printing journey on my blog. And if I feel like making a video on it, I sure will. So stay tuned. It's been 10 years of this channel, and I still never called my subscribers something witty. Stay tuned, you loony birds. That one sounds right. I'll see if that one grows on me. Alright, bye. So, what's wrong with my current oh my god. Jesus. So, what's wrong with... Oh my god. These would make great bloopers for the end of the video.